Yellow, yellow, yellow. Are both going, eh? Welcome to the Probing Podcast, a podcast that is slightly less awkward than therapy and more honest than social media. Today, we have Elroy Salie with us. He is a seasoned veteran in the bodybuilding scene in South Africa. Welcome, Elroy. How are you doing?
Doing well. Who put in yourself?
All good, thank you. Just chipping away. Very, very nice to have you on the podcast. And from doing a little bit of research beforehand, what I thought was the most interesting thing about you is how much you do. Just in the sense that you're an accountant at Woolworths, am I correct? Yeah. Accountant at Woolworths, bodybuilder, you're a judge for bodybuilding shows, and you're deeply rooted in your faith as a Christian. Yes. And how do you go about balancing all of that?
Yeah, I feel like in order to have a more fulfilling life, it's good to have a balance between all aspects. It won't be at one point in time we're balancing all aspects, but just to have the holistic view of your entire life revolving around the different aspects. Yeah. So it's definitely vital to have it all in balance. Yeah.
And tell me, why did you first get into bodybuilding?
Initially, it was the appearance of power and dominance.
Okay.
That appealed to me. I was 15 years old, and as a 15-year-old, you're looking up to these characters. When I was young, it was like Dragon Ball Z we used to watch on TV after school, and you're seeing those guys with muscles and stuff. And
yeah, Dragon Ball Z's jacked.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah, and then that's what pulled me into it. Then, of course, when you get pulled into it, it's like a drug, because now you get addicted to how it makes you feel. So, yeah.
The actual feeling. It's a bit like the golf bug, when guys start playing golf, and then it's all they can think about and do. And obviously you get addicted to seeing not just from that side, but seeing the gains as well, for sure, yeah. And it's been, 17 years that you've been? Yes, 17 years.
Definitely more than, slightly more than 17 years.
Is that 17 years competing?
No. 17 years lifting weights, I would say forming this art, basically, of sculpting the body, basically.
Yeah, that's what it is, an art. And in that journey, I'm sure you would have learned so much about yourself, but what are some of the highs and lows that you've had?
The highs, there's more highs and lows, definitely. I would say that the highs is basically your physical appearance. It boosts. So it makes you feel more confident in your own skin. It makes you feel better. And also, it's good to be able to set a goal and achieve it. It gives you a certain type of fulfillment. So that's always vital. Some of the lows, I would say, is probably the sacrifice. But that's with all goals.
Yeah.
You have to sacrifice. Not we all would, but natural state is to relax. But if you're pursuing this goal, you can't relax as much as you would like to. For example, when I was on high school, every day after school for 2 hours, I would work out at home because I wasn't at the gym at the time. And even now, as I'm working, after work, instead of sitting back and watching TV, something relaxing, it's been a hard day, I go to the gym and I go train.
You go and get after it.
Yeah. And when you're competing, you're training before work, after work. Sometimes when I have capacity, I'd go during working hours in my break time.
During your lunch break?
During my lunch break, yeah. So
do you at least get some fuel from Woolies?
Yeah, Woolies has its benefits of waste. Discounted foods. And,
No, that's proper. And what does an average day for Elroy look like? In terms of your training, are you training before you go to work generally, or is it after? What's your nutrition looking like?
Yeah, so average day is basically wake up, have a cereal, which will be like jungle oats, for example. Then an hour later, have some eggs. Okay, I'm not going to go through my whole meal plan now. But basically every 2 hours, I make sure to get some proteins and carbs into my body.
Yeah.
My body just operates better like that. I can't go for hours not eat.
So you prefer to go for lots of smaller meals,
Yes,
opposed to
yes.
big one, long break, big one,
Yes.
long break. Yeah.
But it needs to be sufficient to sustain me for 2 hours. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
can't be that.
So it
too
can't be
small.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be that small. And what on that? What do you like? What's your average out of season? The calories? Do you track your calories?
So that has been something which a lot of my friends who's competitive, they always come at me for that. So they would always mention that, Elroy, like, why don't you track your calories? So I don't track my calories.
Okay.
I don't track my macros. I just know that like I need to get a specific portion of food into my body. Like you have been eating your whole life, you know what a meal is. And like the food sources is what I focus on. If I want to gain weight, it's certain source of food I eat.
Is that more carb rich?
Types of carbs,
Yeah.
yes. And when I want to lose weight, there's specific types of carbs I eat for that purpose, yeah. And we
Okay.
can delve into that as well if you want to.
Yeah. So what's that? The difference between like a off season, I guess, and then in season, do you cut for your comps, obviously, and then bulk up in that other period?
Yes, correct, yes. So with the bulk up, I try not to get like to pick up too much body fat. Like for me, like I look now, this is my most bulked up version, if you can say so.
Okay.
Because like I eat what I want to, but I do ensure that I do get sufficient proteins in my body. I go by this other guy, you probably know him, a lot of bodybuilders know him, Lee Priest.
I don't know him, but I'll give him a search.
yeah. No, he's very famous, yeah, very outspoken. And he was the only guy, one of the only guys who beat Ronnie Coleman at Olympia. It wasn't at Olympia, it was at Universe probably.
Okay.
But he was the only guy, and he was short. But anyway, he said that people overcomplicate things. So they want to track everything, they want to put a number to it. Whereas he will just eat 2 chicken breasts and potatoes, and he knows that's a meal. And 2 hours later, he'll do the same. And we'll keep the consistency going. And look at him, like he was able to beat
he
the
took
most
Ronnie Coleman out.
unbeatable guy, you know?
Yeah, I think also when you are like constantly tracking things like that, like your calories, your macros, tracking how much sleep you're getting, it can also make you a bit obsessive to the point that it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable, yeah. And then you spoke about that balance. It's like, how can you be achieving balance if then on the weekend you want to go have a burger with your mates or whatnot, but you need to track the calories and it's definitely, I think, not the most sustainable way to do it. You prefer to listen to your body.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's even like the stuff with I don't know, have you seen the Whoops?
No, I have not.
So they're these, like a Garmin watch.
Okay.
But it's these straps that they don't have a watch face on, but they basically track like your strain, your recovery, give you recommendations and stuff.
Okay, no wonder all the people.
Yes, the ones that look cool, those cool ones. But my whole thing with that is like, I feel like I know my body better than current technology can know my body.
Yes.
So I can feel when I'm getting run down or sickness is coming on, and my Whoop will be telling me, okay, you're on 86% recovery, you good, let's do a 10K at this pace type of thing.
Okay.
So it is, just interesting that such a big bodybuilder like also goes about that, knowing their body more than tracking stuff like that. But I mentioned earlier, you're a judge as well, hey?
Yeah, so I judge at NABA.
Is that the national? What does it stand for? It's the
National Amateur Bodybuilders Association.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's actually like, it's a bit smaller now in South Africa at the moment. It will grow again, but that is the first federation ever in the whole world for bodybuilders. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, he became famous when he won Mr. Universe, and Mr. Universe fell under NABA.
And you're a 2018 winner of NABA.
Yes.
That's a quite a cool thing to have under your belt, eh?
Yeah.
And so you've obviously seen, well, being a judge, competing there, you've obviously seen multiple different people and yourself, obviously, what differentiates the good from the elite within bodybuilding?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you definitely need to have the physique, because it's bodybuilding. So you need to have the sculpted look, and then it's your presence on stage, how you carry yourself. It's not just about being confident. It's also about how you are able to portray your body, basically present your body on stage. And the main thing is you need to be professional on stage.
Yeah.
That counts a lot. So like,
What does being professional on stage
so
mean?
professional is it's like, it's simple things like just the way in which you're able to smile, for example.
Okay.
It's the way in which you react when someone comes pose next to you. It's the way you walk up on the stage. So yeah, the eye contact you have with the judges, the crowd, how you're able to become one with the crowd. So that is what you call professional. If you can like have the crowd on the tip of your fingers, you know, like
That's like CBAM has that, no?
yes. I don't like talking about myself like that, but I
Yeah.
might have a bit of it.
Yeah.
So for example, if I come on stage and like I'm posing, I know there's one pose that I hit that's gonna make the crowd go wow. So
What's that pose?
so for me, it's the most muscular pose. So you will see like some pictures maybe where I hit like a pose.
Oh, one of these.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like a prayer pose, yeah. So when you time it perfectly, to win, you want the crowd to go wow, and then
they go nice.
Yeah, you don't just like hit it anyways. Like it needs to be perfectly timed, and that whole aspect now, you're thinking now way above like just stepping on stage and posing like.
So you have a like routine that you go to.
Yes,
You know
yes.
exactly at this time I'm gonna do lat spread.
Yes,
at this
yes,
time,
yes.
and
but,
then
but feeling the energy of the crowd as well.
oh, so you'll
the same time,
you will tinker
yes.
with it a little bit.
Yes,
If you
yes,
feel like
yes.
okay, now it's time for the most muscular
Yeah,
pose.
if they overexcited already to see you and stuff, and I'm not gonna do that pose, you know, because they're really happy to see me.
Yeah.
But if they like maybe like bored or but whatever, they need to say, okay, now time to wake them up a bit.
Yeah. And obviously speaking a bit like with the judges and stuff there, as a judge yourself, because bodybuilding's pretty subjective, right?
Yes.
So what is, like, I've never known this, I'm sure lots of people want to know, what is the like criteria that a judge goes through when looking at you to determine, okay, this guy's last, this guy's third, this guy's second, this guy's first? Like, is there set criteria that you go over?
Yes. So there is a set criteria which you use for the judging purposes, and it differs based on the Pacific division.
Okay.
So that's also like the crowd usually would attend the show, but a lot of them don't understand the criteria that you're looking for in the divisions. So, for example, female divisions are more complicated than male divisions. Male divisions is 2 main divisions for males, 3 actually. So it will be like your board swords type, you know. So you're looking for like fully developed.
Those aren't the super muscular guys, though. Hey.
So the criteria for that has changed because now they've become so competitive over the years that it just becomes more and more muscular. That at the Olympia level, the guys who's doing the beach body, I would say, or the physique body, they basically look twice as big than me now, you know. But it started as like
that's not a beach body.
yeah, definitely.
If that's the beach
it's just
body,
men's physique now, and those guys are jacked.
Yeah.
Even in Cape Town, our physique guys are insanely built.
Yeah,
Like they're insane. Yeah.
So can we go back to that? Sorry, so the 3 divisions you said.
Yeah.
with
So
the
it's
board
men's
short-
physique, and then it's classic bodybuilding, which is the X frame basically, wide on top, wide
Wide
on
on
bottom,
bottom.
super slim midsection.
Yeah.
And then you have the open bodybuilders, which is basically just how much muscle you have. They compare that basically.
Is that
Whoever
the-
has the most muscle. So some people judge this and say, no, but how could that guy have won if he has so big gut? But besides a big gut maybe, which might have been genetic,
Yeah.
you know, it can't like help you and genetically have like a wide midsection. that guy has developed more muscle on other places or overall compared to the guy with like similar muscle but slightly less muscle but super slim waist. Although the guy might appeal better to some people because he has a slim waist and wide shoulders and everything, just because the other guy has more muscle and might have like a bit of a distorted overall structure, he will still win because he has better muscle and better condition. Yeah.
So, which is the one that you compete in?
So I do open bodybuilding.
Open
In
bodybuilding.
SA, yeah. If I go to national, I'll have to do classic. Because
Okay.
the national open guys, we're talking about Ronnie Coleman type of looking. I would rather compete against C-bum type of people.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, than that. So in your division, I guess, what are some of those criteria?
So in my division is basically how much muscle you can gain. So I do open bodybuilding.
Yeah. So it's literally just how much muscle you have.
Yes,
and then,
yes,
but
yes.
surely you also look for like how vascular you are as
Yes,
well.
the vascularity and all that stuff. So yeah, the whole body basically, yeah, the vascular, the size and all that stuff. The structure also comes in. But then it's also about how you own that stage. That is
Yes,
also
yeah.
what determines. Yeah.
And in that open class, what do you usually like weigh in? I know you don't track yourself, but
No,
what do
of
you
course I-
usually weigh
At
in
least I
that?
track my weight. At least I
Yeah.
track my weight. At least.
So what do you usually weigh in at in those?
So last year I weighed in at 83 kilos.
That's
83.5.
ridiculous. That's like 2 kilos heavier than me.
Yeah. So I dropped down from like 98 kilos. Yeah.
So is that what you walk around at usually? 98,
It's now 100. Yeah.
100.
Yeah, 100 kilos now currently. Yeah.
And you cut to 82, 83.
Yes. I'll probably weigh a bit heavier if I compete this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually around 85 then. Yeah.
That's insane. Do you follow UFC at all?
UFC? No, I do not. I do
Yeah,
not.
so it's one of my only talking points in life is
Okay. I know
UFC.
about it.
Yeah.
I know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so why I'm just mentioning that is because on that the weight cutting they do is like ridiculous.
Okay.
Like Drickus, for example, like a
Okay.
South African guy, he like what he fights at versus what he well, yeah, versus what he walks around at is like a 25 kilo difference. Like I saw Drickus once in person when he was doing this like tour thing in Sea Point, and I looked at him and I was like, but you are not a middleweight. Like there's no way. But a guy like Alex Pereira, not sure if you were to see him, they call him Poeton. He's this Brazilian guy. He's a guy that does that whole arrow thing.
Okay.
So he posted something. He fights at light heavyweight, and I think he officially weighed in because they do the weigh-ins prior to the fight. He officially weighed in at 92 point something kilos. And then he posted a story 24 hours later on his Instagram, and he was weighing like 104.2 kilos.
12
so like
kilos up.
within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So it shows they like deprive themselves of that water. Is that similar to how you do your cutting in terms of getting all that water weight off?
Yeah, exactly that as well. Yeah.
And how do you go about that? Saunas?
It's just now we compare the UFC to bodybuilding. The UFC needs to be at peak performance. So by the time they perform, they have the water back in their body. By the time we perform, we're still dehydrated.
Yeah.
So we're at our weakest point on stage. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you had any health scares around that when you've been super dehydrated?
It was only last year. The first time it happened, I never had landed in the hospital, but I went on stage because I was like, super lean, like felt like dead. I went on stage, I hit my poses, came off stage, and then my fingers started cramping. So it like curled like that. It literally curled, my whole hand curled like that. I think it was a bit colder backstage as well. Then my feet did that as well. And my whole back started like curling over as well. Like it's just like I'd like push my
everything
back.
was cramping.
Yeah, everything was just like pulling in, like it was like a scene out of a horror movie or something. Like something possessed me. Like what the hell?
Something possessed.
Nah, dude. Like the lack of salt possessed me or something. And then I just had to get my friend to get me like 6 tablespoons of salt and Coke. And then that got me back to where I should be.
Yeah. And do you celebrate after your like comps in terms of like you go just again with the UFC fighters, they after their weigh-ins they go eat some pizzas, burgers. Do you do stuff like that
After
afterwards?
weigh-in now?
Yeah.
After the show?
No, after your show, do you?
Oh, after the show, yeah, I always go eat out, yeah. So I always get my friends together or something.
Yeah.
Always go and eat out. I don't do anything after the eating out because I'm still dead. Like, my electrolytes are messed up and...
Yeah, I'm sure if you have one beer, you'll just...
Exactly. You're not out, yeah, you're out.
Yeah. And do you drink at all with your...
Yeah, I do. On occasion.
Yeah.
Like... Because I'm still young, I will still go out. I also do festivals and so forth.
Okay. And you got to be topless at the festival.
That's the thing. Like, I don't feel comfortable being topless because the attention you pull, I already pull attention with a sweater only, and now if you're topless, imagine I don't know how people will handle that attention.
Yeah.
You know?
I think when I saw you out when I first met you,
yeah.
I think you're just in a t-shirt.
Yes.
And
correct.
even that, I was looking at you like, like, brother, what? Like,
yeah. So no, keep my sweater on, definitely. Yeah. But so I do drink. But the thing is, I can't drink continuously.
That's what I found with drinking is it's obviously like the physical stuff. Like I'm sure you would have seen, you feel much weaker, but mentally it after like a big blowout weekend like that, it makes you feel horrific.
Yeah.
Mentally, you have all this brain fog. You're not on top of your game whatsoever. I'm sure you feel it at work even as well.
Yeah.
So it's more just a thing of moderation for you and picking your time to do it.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, that just makes me think also, when you mentioned about balance as well, when you're doing stuff, you have like this person you are basically. Like you have this bodybuilding, you have all those other aspects of your life, so you always try to remain in that range. It's like a range. You can't go too much overboard or like anything. So if you go overboard or anything, you always like pull back to yourself again.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, for sure. And Elroy, I want to chat about one of the biggest things in bodybuilding, I guess, PEDs, right?
Oh yeah.
So it comes. So I watched your previous interview that you did. What was the guy's name that you did with the comedian?
Kayemba.
Okay,
the comedian.
Yeah, I saw it with him, and there you chatted briefly about Icarus.
Yes.
Have you seen the movie?
I have not seen the movie.
You just like to reference it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's such a cool movie. How the guy Brian Fogel, he like literally uses the head of the anti-doping lab in Russia, like that head, to dope and like show how they get around all those tests. It's wild, but I mean, you still see it in all the sports. A lot of guys are using the juice where they shouldn't be using the juice, and
okay, actually I did watch it. I just didn't know the name, but I spoke of it.
Yes, you spoke. That's how I was like,
I watched it. Yeah,
that's how I was like, brother, surely you had to have watched it. Can't just reference it.
No, I watched it, but just the name, I still don't remember the name,
And PEDs, obviously, they deeply entrenched in bodybuilding. Hey, is it one of those things where guys? So there's tested and non-tested federations, right?
Yes.
Within the
We have natural bodybuilding, and you have where they don't test.
You have where they don't test, and are guys in the non-natural. Non-natural. Are guys in the natural where they test? Is there still a doping culture there in terms of like in the off season, or are they all sharpshooters?
I would say they're all natural. Just because there's not much incentives for guys who's using drugs to compete there, because it's not like they're getting more exposed at naturals compared to other federations. So if there was like much more money, or if the sport was in the Olympics example, and then I'm sure there would be like people who's doping who would like wait for detection time, because like 4 weeks detection time, some compounds, for example, wait for that 5 weeks and then use nothing before. So they would do that. But at the moment, currently now, no. There's not that incentive to to do a natural. So if you not natural,
Yeah, I guess in the other sports there is that incentive, right? I mean, you can play for the Springboks.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
can
definitely.
make millions. You can go and win an event at the Olympics. There's that incentive.
It was Olympic.
And
If it's paid like that level, yeah.
that's when guys start. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But what is that? If you don't mind speaking about, what is the 4-week detection that you touched on there?
Okay. Yeah. So basically, when you're using some drugs, depends. Like they all have different detection times, basically. So some compounds have detection time of like 4 weeks. Like so, if you stop using it in 4 weeks, it will be out of your system.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's.
I think that's more to do with the pills, the pill version. Yeah, it takes about 4 weeks for it to like clear out the system.
Okay. And stuff like what stuff you can get like at Discount and stuff like testo boosters. Are those also illegal in the natural?
I'm not too certain.
But those things don't really work.
It doesn't work.
I'm chatting from personal experience. I don't think those work too well.
Okay. But then again, so I'm a sponsor of Muscle Dynamics.
Yes.
So they have a testosterone booster, and the people who do use it, like their partners often fall pregnant after they have used this testo booster. So if anyone want to have kids and you can't have you've been trying, use the MD testo booster.
Testo booster. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, but I mean the detection now, like in the competitive sports, is crazy. Like guys literally get like they will be taking natural stuff, right? Like stuff that you can get in supplements that is naturally derived or from certain types of mushroom compounds.
Yeah.
And they'll be like using that supplement, not even so much for the physical benefit, but more for the mental benefit. And they show up positive in those drug tests and get these crazy bans.
Yeah.
Which is, it's crazy to think. I guess you always just, if you're in that position, want to be on the side of the side of caution.
Definitely. So when I started competing at 19 years old, I did natural bodybuilding. So I was doing a natural bodybuilding federation for like 4 years or something. And whenever I competed, like you couldn't even use coffee, dude. Like
what?
Like even coffee, it's on the ban list. Like at the time, like you couldn't use coffee.
But it's surely not anymore
because of caffeine.
Yeah.
You couldn't have caffeine and coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee has caffeine in it. So with no stimulants like that. Yeah, so no stimulants allowed at naturals. At the time I competed.
Nicotine? Surely.
Yeah, I think that will be fine, yeah. But yeah, no stimulants otherwise, yeah.
And do you take a pre-workout?
All the time.
All the time,
yeah.
And does it have much of an effect on you anymore? Because I know, guys, you develop a resistance to it.
Yeah, it still has an effect on me.
Has an effect
on me, yeah.
I've taken it, well, a few times I used to take it, but it was just too much for it. You know, you get the itches.
Yeah.
It was too much for me. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. You know what causes the itches? Which compound?
What?
So it's the compound in called beta-alanine.
Is it beta-alanine that causes it?
Yes, the lactic acid buffer. It causes that. So that's like a side effect of the beta-alanine. Also, vitamin B3, the niacin.
Yeah.
If you overdose on that, it makes your skin red. So that's also always in the pre-workouts, the vitamin B3 niacin.
Okay. But do you quite like that, the itch it gives you?
Yeah, I like the side effect.
Yeah. I know, I've chatted to quite a few guys about it, and they're like, mate, that's not a side effect. Like, that's a positive
bonus,
effect. Yeah. Just going back to that whole PED thing, because the man behind the camera has given some thought weighed in.
The mysterious man.
Yeah, the mysterious man behind the camera. What, do you have a knack for telling if someone is on juice, or like, can you look at someone and be like, there's no chance that you are natural?
Yeah.
And what are what points towards that?
So it's always subjective. Yeah, but indicators, which I would say is, of course, like the way in which they look, like how advanced the body is. So that's one pointer. The second pointer is just like sometimes the attitude. They're using some compounds. it will naturally make them more aggressive. And you see it in the eyes, they have like, it's almost like, like the eyes stand a bit still if they're talking to you. So that is like another aspect. But it is subjective, like I say, because some people naturally have like higher testosterone. If you look at Cassidy Semenya, people think she's using stuff, but naturally she was born like that, so yeah.
She's got her own, her own PED. And then have you seen some like, within the bodybuilding industry, have you seen some like crazy use? People have been doing some crazy things.
Definitely, yeah. So like I know that people use like, for example, when it comes to testosterone, which is the base gear they use like 1 ml a week. That's like general. Then there will be like some people who maybe have jumped to like 6 times that 1 ml times 6 basically per week. Yeah. Don't know how you do that though.
Does that not shoot like, after that surely your body can't produce its own testosterone for a while?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
But those people who I've heard do that, like they're not involved as much in the competitive scene, and it's not sustainable. That's probably why,
Yeah. What do you make out of, do you know like the Trend twins?
Yeah.
And
Togi.
Togi's funny, eh?
Yeah.
Togi, I saw he just posted something saying, I lost everything. Because, he's I think it was like 2 days ago. He's quite a bad gambler. I don't know if he's good and bad gamblers.
No, I don't follow him that closely.
Yeah, but his whole thing is like gym, partying, and gambling. It's hilarious just following it to see what happens. But what do you think of guys like that, Togi and the Trend twins? Because they obviously they literally promote steroid use in teens. What do you think about that?
And it's quite entertaining, hey?
Yeah.
Like I've watched the videos and I was like, when I watch like Togi, then like I feel like an alpha. When I watch him, he's like, this guy is like spitting like stuff like I want, like, so you can imagine
he's saying what we're too scared to say.
Yes. So you can imagine like someone who's like 18 or so, or like 17, 16, seeing this, it's like, wow, like I want to be like that, like fearless, like
you idolize it.
So like what I mean, when I was 15, I looked for strength and dominance, and that's what he's portraying in his cool way of speaking, and he's like always like looks tip top in his videos. So it's very entertaining. So like I feel that like where they misguide in the youth is basically they're not saying that you need to maximize your natural potential
before.
Yes. Yeah. Because like I listened to Phil Heath rather, and like what Phil Heath said in one of his latest videos was, if you don't have a natural base and there's no performance enhancements, how are you gonna look? If you dependent on the performance enhancements to look like you look. Because like he said, like if natural enhancements go away entirely, I mean, performance enhancements, goes away entirely, he's still going to look like flipping jacked and insane. Like Ronnie Coleman natural, he became a professional as a natural. I'd be professional bodybuilder as a natural. Okay, good genetics, of course, but also hectic dedication.
Yeah. It's like this clip I saw about... I think he's like a science-based lifter, and he was saying like a bunch of these kids had been messaging him like, yo, I think I've maxed out my natty potential. Like I've maxed out my natty potential. I'm thinking about hopping on. Yeah. And then he says, well, if you've really maxed out your natty potential, that means you are sleeping 8 hours plus every night. You're looking after your recovery. You're lifting pretty much every day, and you're lifting to a program, and you are, what was the other one? And you are eating very consciously. And it's like, if you haven't done all of those, there's no point in hopping on, because you haven't naturally maximized your natural state.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is that's interesting to see. Like a lot of guys will say, I've plateaued, but like, why are you plateauing? Yeah. And obviously, I mean, the cons that come with the steroid use are pretty hectic.
Yeah.
So you got to really
steroid abuse. Yeah. With steroid abuse,
Is there different steroid abuse and
people
using steroids?
There's people, the doctors prescribe steroids two clients. If you have low testosterone, you have muscle wastage, etc. These people on testosterone and growth hormone, for example, for like years on end, and they have no side effects because they're using minimum dosage which doctor prescribes to them.
Yeah, but it's the abuse of it.
It's the abuse of it. Yeah. Same with alcohol. If you abuse alcohol, or
well, they're all addictive compounds as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You see yourself getting so jacked, and then you go off, and you're struggling to do what you were doing. Of course, it's going to be super addictive.
Yeah.
And then just on that, I want to know what your thoughts would be of the. I don't follow bodybuilding that closely, but from like a judge, I guess, would you still have had C-Bum to win that last Olympia?
I was thinking, now what's coming now? You smirk like that. But so I don't have the images in my head now exactly looking, but what I do know is that they both have an insane amount of muscle development. And by you asking me that question, I can already see that there is like thinking about, it could have been this guy, it could have been that guy.
Yeah.
So where the actual, like from a judge's perspective, I would then look at the other factors, their stage personality. Say now that their bodies are identical. I'm assuming their bodies are identical now.
Okay.
Same muscle development.
Yeah.
Would be the stage personality, would be like I mentioned, crowd control, because bodybuilders on stage, you are a performer who's going to perform the best professionally, and that is where C-Bum's gonna take it.
Yeah,
like when he steps on stage, you already know. He didn't pose.
Aura.
He just stood like this, and everyone was like, "There's our winner."
Yeah,
yeah.
But he's retired now, eh?
That's what they say, but I think he will come back because of his age. Like it would be like very sad if he retires, because he's just turned 30. He's just like over 30. He's younger than me, I know. So I think he's like 93, 94, 95.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's me giving my age away, actually. Okay. I clean shaved. I thought that I'm looking young, but okay. Yeah.
And who are your, or not who are your like, because everyone has idols, you know what I mean? Who are your like current idols in the bodybuilding scene? It sounds like
it's harder now, because like when I was starting out, I had idols, like who I looked up to. My sponsor, the owner of Muscle Dynamics, Muhammad Jaja, just like the way in which he has a passion for the sport, definitely is motivating to a lot of people, and he has like helped so many people in the sport, and just his thinking about the sport is what actually like gets a lot of respect for him, because like if there's like a lot of federations, a lot of people will say you can't compete in this federation because you compete with us, so your loyalty to us. He will be like, you compete with everyone too. Like he just wants you to be the best bodybuilder or the best bikini model that you can be, irrespective of where you compete, and he will support you, even though he is the chairperson of NABBA South Africa.
Yeah. I think what you said on how motivated he gets is actually motivating. Not how motivated, how passionate.
Yes, but it sounded a bit weird now.
How passionate he is gets people motivated. Yes. I think that's one of the one of the most inspiring things, when you see someone that is so passionate about something, it can't not rub off on you. Yeah. I think surrounding yourself with people like that is so important. Even like what I have such a respect for is, so I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm Christian, for example.
Okay.
But I find it so amazing that Christian people like yourself can have such faith in God. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like even stuff like that is just very, very inspiring.
Yeah.
But I think we've chatted about most things that I want to cover. I just some rapid fire stuff that's come to my head that I'd like to ask. Firstly, what is one misconception about bodybuilding that people don't know?
Misconception about bodybuilding. Probably like why you are so surprised also is that I have like this balance in my life, you know, because I think that's a misconception that like a lot of bodybuilders are iron heads, you know, and that's like all they think about. It's
No,
just
some of
like,
them work at Woolworths.
yeah. That's all they think about. It's just like going to the gym, eating, going to bed. That's all they do. Like that's how they build that body. Because people ask me in gym, Constantia Virgin Sauna. They will ask you, they like, so you probably like spend a whole day in the gym, eh? I'm like, no, 1 hour per day. 6 days a week maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like that's like your whole life, you know.
Yeah. And then what's your favorite supplement?
My favorite supplement would be whey protein. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The isolate.
Yes, so isolate whey protein of Muscle Dynamics. I definitely feel that is superior. So like I'm saying that, but like when you actually use it, you see the results.
Yeah. No, for sure. And finally, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a young guy or young girl, say 15, 16, that is just starting their strength training and is looking at getting into bodybuilding?
Yeah. So definitely educate yourself on the sport, what it entails, so that you know what you're doing. And then also consistency is vital because you are going to be motivated at the start. You're going to get excited, like, yeah, you can do this. But that motivation is going to fade. What else is going to keep you going? So you need to make that decision, a commitment to yourself that no matter what, you are going to achieve that goal which you set out to achieve.
Yeah, that's very cool. I think that actually brings an end to everything we wanted to chat about. Elroy, thank you so much. It's been great to have you on and for you to share your knowledge in the bodybuilding and just your outlook on life.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you.